What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Gray's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Magic Square UFO. Their take on Cosmos is on loan to me from my good friend Robert D. I know everybody's asking about the MP44 review. Just like every other one, I will get it up as soon as I get it. I promise. No need to fret or worry. May not be as soon as you'd like it to, or as soon as I'd like it to, but I just work within the parameters. Dim the rules. So anyway, let's take a look at this guy, and we'll start with accessories. He comes with two identical pistols, both single cast with silver paint on the barrels. And he'll hold those just fine. And they'll also plug into the back in spaceship mode, but it's a little bit of a tight fit, so use caution. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna show all of this. There, okay. So just use caution, it's a tight little tolerance. All right, so let's talk about the figure. So the head is basically on a stick, and we'll go ahead and take a look at it. It's right here. This piece does slide up and down, and it slides up and down fairly easy, so be careful as you're manipulating it. The head is on that stick, so you get the swivel, but as you... I'm not going to say it. As you manipulate the figure's head, when you go to... As you're doing so, it could come off of the peg that's holding it. As a result, you have to push it back on, which causes the orange piece to slide back inside, which causes you to open up the body and then sort it out. Kind of a bummer. But the face itself is sculpted well. The eyes in the face are painted yellow and blue. And then the chest here, we have orange, blue, red, white, and black paint. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paint apps, something like that. You get a waist swivel. You get an ab crunch all the way forward and even a slight one back. So that's nice. All of that works beautifully. For the shoulders, you have a hinge here that attaches to the chest. That gets you up to 90 degrees. And you have the swivel, so it's basically a universal joint that gets you all the way around. We have orange and yellow paint on the shoulder. Then we have the elbow, which gets you a single bend at just about 90 degrees. Black paint here as well. And then orange and yellow paint on the forearm as well. And then silver paint down here. So no shortage of paint apps on this little guy. I mean, we've gotten MP stuff that has less paint apps. Actually, the MMC Vortex, for instance. Same for the other side. We do have a wrist hinge. Now, this is another issue. So this one is a little loose. This one is nice and taut, like a tiger. But as you go to push the gun into the hand, it has a tendency to pop the hand out and then fold it in, so you have to kind of keep pressure underneath it while you push it in, so to speak. Not the biggest deal in the world, but something worth pointing out. Then we have the hips. They are T-jointed ball joints. You get 90 degrees out to the side for the full Van Damme and forward and back for the full Monty, so no issues there. You get a thigh swivel at a cut joint, and then you get a single hinge knee that gets you 90 degrees. Actually past 90 degrees, so no issues there. Then you have an ankle tilt down, the slightest bit of an ankle tilt up, and an insane rocker. And then you have black and orange paint on top. And then on the back, we even have a piece of black paint there. So really a phenomenal kind of effort, in all honesty. Like, it really does an extremely well job to be a figure of its stature. Size comparison wise, there it is with my two standards, the Blaster and the Hasbro Stunticon. And of course, the Iron Factory Tarn. Let's get this guy transformed. So we're going to tuck the hands in. You should find that to be relatively easy. And we're going to slide the forearms up so that it kind of sits clean against the shoulders, and then manipulate these side guns, this kind of signature handgun, so to speak, around flat. Now we're going to work on his innards. Open up this chest cavity here. You can unfold all of this stuff that keeps his shoulders compact. Just extend them as much as you can. And on this side, you want to flip the green pieces down 90 degrees. And then the orange pieces, which they're connected to, bring those up 90 degrees so that they fill in these gaps where the shoulder hinges were. You can then tuck the head in and recollapse the center. Then flatten the feet, and you can peg them together. Extend the upper body so that you're using the piece that creates the ab crunch. Flip down the crotch piece and the butt piece. Extend the backpack and flip the arms up just to get them out of the way. Make it so that he kind of sits onto himself with these two tabs in the front locking into the corresponding slots on the top of the feet. On the back, bring down the butt plate, which will cover up this section nice and clean. Then we have to flip these arms around so that everything lines up with the cannons kind of facing forward, or towards the back actually. So just manipulate the hinges, bring this piece, the one that's closest to the torso, down towards the body. That's the big portion of it. Once you do that, the other two, there's a tab at the front and at the back that should line up quite nicely and plug in. And that's one side done. And then just figure out the same thing for the other side. And like I said, it's just a series of hinges. So once you get the one that's furthest towards the bottom nice and flat, everything else should start to kind of be intuitive as to do it. Lastly, underneath, take these two sections here, flip them down, and cover up the gap. Pretty smart stuff. I'll clean them up. We'll take a look at them. And there it is. And I think it's pretty clever. It's pretty smart. The black paint and orange paint show around the trim, as well as some silver accents. We have the silver paint on the thrusters here. We have the little black paint on the back there for no reason other than deco. The silver barrels of the guns add a nice little element. Underneath, it's clean as a whistle, and you get the double tap, so to speak, for the paint accents showing through. It's really, I mean, it's smart, it's clever, it's fun, it's just really, really well done. I don't have a whole lot of criticisms to say about this. I think it's actually top shelf. Let's put them next to Omnigonics, but that's not who I meant to grab, is it? Let's go ahead and put them next to Tiger Tracks as well. Final thoughts wise, I only have one criticism, and that criticism is not all of the engineering is mastered and focused in the sense where it won't get in the way of enjoying the action figure element. That namely comes down to, at least in my experience, the hand tab tolerance of where they flip out and connect to the wrist, as well as the tension pin that keeps the head from sliding down inside of the body. This only becomes an issue when you're articulating the head and it comes off of the peg, causing you to push the head back down onto the peg, so to speak, and thus interrupting your experience, having to take it apart at the body just to get the head back into position. Just a couple things that just aren't quite ironed out yet. Plenty of positives though. I know I've already commented on it, but the paint and deco on this guy is beautiful. I do have to say though, at the same breath, there is something slightly off about the green, but that doesn't bother me in the least. I have to acknowledge it, but simultaneously I also have to say it doesn't bother me in the least. The articulation is pretty much perfect. More, in my opinion, than you would ever expect for a Legends class figure. The sculpt is top shelf. The engineering is a lot of fun. Simple, straightforward, and intuitive. I think the price is fair. The materials still feel gummy, but once again, I know that bothers some. It doesn't bother me. And honestly, I even feel as though it lends itself to working around potential tolerances when the materials have that much give. Sculpt is sharp. Everything is just pretty much well done on this guy. A strong and definite recommend from me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.